Hey, hello. Thank you again for joining. My name is Edward Mbeche. The CEO and founder of Helen Super Hub, and also your host for the Headliners podcast. Today, I have my friend and my guest, Raquel. I never know how to say your last name, so you're gonna have to introduce yourself with your last name.
It's technically Borras.
Borras.
Borras, yeah, it's
Uh-huh.
Spanish. It's my ex-husband's last name, but I think it's Spanish. Oh, and look, we have.
Oh yes, finally he just jumped in. Yeah, we have also a co-host, Corey.
Yay! Oh, I
Green.
love a good co-host.
Listen, can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yep. You.
Here's my problem.
We can see a little fuzzy, but we can hear you.
I still have Microsoft Windows,
Mhm.
and if you walk away from your computer, it takes 20 minutes for the thing to load back up again.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? Oh,
Yeah. I guess I gotta jump over to like to these
Mac
Apple products.
Pro?
Yeah, I gotta get a Mac, right?
Perfect. If you want to do that, you want to join back, is fine. We just started kind of just introduction. All
Cool.
right.
There's no intro needed. It's just my name's Raquel Borras. There you go.
Yeah.
Hey Raquel, how are you?
Good. How are you, Corey?
I am living the dream, other than my Mac situation,
Yeah, hey,
my non-Mac situation.
yes,
Yeah. Yeah.
this should
Okay.
be.
Yeah.
we should
As
sponsored
we are
by
going,
Apple.
maybe while Corey is waiting. Yes, Raquel. Sorry. So it's Boris.
Yes.
Boris.
Borras,
Okay. What is that name?
RB, I get called RB too. It's just easier that way.
Yeah. Okay. That's good. And yes, we're gonna be just kind of talking a little bit. Maybe you can do this. Kind of give maybe like just a history, like who are you, like what you do, and kind of go into the.
I guess my history, I think what I would want to kind of highlight, I suppose, is that I've been on LinkedIn for a good almost 9 years, just kind of started, posting consistently and putting myself out there and becoming visible. And so I kind of built a presence. And from there, I ended up in the mortgage industry, and I've been blessed to still kind of do what I love doing within the mortgage industry. So I don't originate loans or anything. I do marketing and branding and manage their social media for the New American Funding in the Mid-Atlantic region. So I get to still use my creativity and still have fun. So I'm really lucky in that respect. But I also kind of talk a lot about mental health. I have a YouTube channel called Rock the Boat where I talk to kids.
Mhm.
So that's something that I'm really, really passionate about.
Okay.
Is our youth. So I'm kind of also trying to see about doing a TEDx talk. So I've been talking to people recently on it and trying to get that ball rolling. I don't know. I'm just kind of in this phase of my life where I want to try new things. I don't know. I have like this whole new kind of like renewed view on life at age almost 47. So it's kind of cool.
So we won't be surprised to see you start bungee jumping somewhere. Be like, is that Raquel bungee jumping?
Probably, yes, maybe skydiving, all of those things.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
On the real estate, like, what did you do? Like in real estate, just kind of buying, flipping houses, kind of.
No, so I mean, when it comes to real estate, I have nothing to do with real estate. I'm on the mortgage side, so on the lending side.
Okay.
So yeah, so for instance, our company, we lend the money for people to buy the homes and flip the homes and do whatever they do with them, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, but for me, I help with their brand awareness in this area because they're new, or they're a big national company. They're one of the top retail mortgage lenders in the country. But we all know how important brand awareness is and marketing and social media. So I manage their Mid-Atlantic region with all of that. Yeah. So that's why I have like the glamorous job. I go to the events and I support my loan officers, and I'll go and I'll do Instagram reels and take pictures and do videos. And, I'm that person. I'm the annoying person at the events, but then later they're like super happy I was there because nobody took pictures or anything. Nobody documented it. I'm the one that documented it. So later they're very grateful.
Then they're like, oh, thank you.
Yeah. In the moment, they're like, "Oh gosh, she's so annoying. She literally has her freaking phone in my face."
Well, now, Corey, here's a good connection.
There
I
he
know you want the money
is.
to refinance your house.
I'm still trying. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
No, yeah, kind of.
we can hear you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good to go now. I got my mic. I got my lights on. I'm good to go now, Raquel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Well, I don't know if you can hear, but we can hear you. You can hear us?
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Yes, and then I know there was I don't know if it's still going on. Like my brother was trying to buy a house, and every time he find a house that he likes, and it's like he offers his maximum price,
Yeah.
and then the realtor like, oh, I'm sorry, we lost the house. Someone just paid cash, and they're
Yeah.
closing without inspection. I'm like, who are these people keep paying cash without inspection?
Well, it's such a huge thing now. People paying with cash because of their equity in their homes, and they have, our own company, we started a buyers accepted program. So it's also a cash buyer program as well. I mean, that's the thing, is the industry also has to adapt to what's going on in the market. And so we're doing the same thing. But now it is kind of slowing down a tiny bit. We are seeing a shift because of the interest rates going up, and the economy kind of being a little waffly.
Yeah. So you do branding and marketing, right?
Yes.
In terms of branding and marketing of, like, let's say, of course, like both Corey and I, like, we have I think that's a proper way, and I.
I know it's always like, is it me and Corey and
me,
I?
me, Corey.
Corey and me. I don't.
Me and Corey, we're both like business owner or small business owner.
Right.
In branding, with the marketing, which comes first in terms of either the branding or the marketing for part?
So they say your brand comes first, because your brand is your reputation, who you are, how you want to be perceived. And then once you figure that your brand out, then you go ahead and do all the marketing. And with marketing, there's digital marketing, there's the SEO. I mean, there's a lot that goes into marketing. So that's why I tend to focus more on the branding part, because I love that part of it, because that's your story, that's your why, all of those things. And then that's where I can get creative, and that's where I just get to know the person or the business. And then the marketing piece of it, I kind of let somebody else do that. I'll do the social media piece of it for marketing, but as far as like digital, the SEO, the back end, that for me is not fun.
Yeah.
So you gotta have all of it. They're all a bunch of moving parts,
Yeah, Corey, go ahead. Sorry, I saw you. Maybe you wanted to ask a question.
No. You got. I'm right here with you, brother. Go ahead.
Okay. You like, for some reason, I don't know if it's your connection. You sounded like a little bit delayed. Where
it's a little choppy.
Yeah. We hear your voice, and then we see your lips moving. But it's like delayed. Like you finished talking, like we saw you stop talking, but we hear the voice then coming in, kind of. Yeah. I don't know what's going on, but yeah. Anyway, yeah. So with the branding, when you do the branding, I'm trying to figure, is this a one-time thing, or is it you got to rebrand like maybe every few years, or like how does
it evolves? Like I say that it evolves. Like, so for instance, with me, I don't feel like I've ever rebranded myself or reinvented myself. I feel like I just, as a person, am evolving and changing, and I feel it's the same way with everybody, and that your brand kind of naturally, just like even like the big brands like Starbucks and Apple and Coca-Cola, like even their brands have kind of evolved, right? And it's not like they're trying to rebrand. They're still at the core who they are. It's just that maybe their logo kind of gets a little bit, updated, or, just kind of the way they put themselves out there might change a little bit, just because of also what's happening in the world and in our culture, right? Like they have to adapt. So I feel like it's the same way when it comes to your brand.
Yeah.
At the core, you have to have your core values and why you're doing it. Your why should never change, Right. It's just you, once again, adapting with what's happening around. Like, social issues, a lot of brands have to kind of take a stand in that respect. And so, it does kind of evolve. But, some people can say that's reinventing yourself. I don't know. I mean, Madonna and Lady Gaga, they do it all the time. And
it's, I don't know. Maybe for them it might be a little bit different than a business because I mean it's still a business, but for them it's like they can almost rebrand them per album. It's like I got a new album, I just rebrand kind of, you know what I'm saying? Like so. I don't know if it can work almost the same with the business kind of, unless I don't know you're coming up with a new product. So let's say example for new business, for new startup or like small business where they don't have enough resources, right? So is it good to hire in-house branding person, or is it okay to outsource the branding department?
Well, most people outsource because if you think about it, if you're a small business, you don't have a marketing department. You're usually like doing everything. So a lot of people outsource, and that's okay. I mean, I've been outsourced. Like people have hired me just to kind of come in and consult and just give ideas, and then they go ahead and kind of run with it because depending on what your budget is, in order to kind of keep someone on salary, it's tough if you're starting out. But the really cool thing about social media is you could do a lot of marketing for free. All my marketing and the branding that I've done for myself and essentially even for a company, like I don't have a budget. I actually do a lot of this just by, doing stuff on Instagram or posting on my LinkedIn. People don't realize that you really don't have to put a lot of money into it. You just have to be smart about it. And that's why people will go ahead and hire consultants or people to at least come in and give them those ideas or give them at least, kind of a plan, right? Like a marketing branding plan. And then you can just run with it.
Raquel, how often, how many times do you see someone who they have a business, they've been doing their business, they come to you and say, I can't get any customers, right? And then you go to their Instagram, you go to their Facebook, you go to their Twitter, you go to their TikTok. They haven't shared one thing about their business, right? So you get up every day and you come to this business and you tell no one about it. How did you think someone was going to find out about you if you literally don't tell anyone about your business?
Yeah. And that's the thing too, is that it's not just like it's being consistent with it. And that's the problem is so many people think like, oh, if I post here and there, like then people will know what I do. But we have to remember that social media right now is so saturated. You go on Instagram, you go on Facebook, you go on Twitter, it's like, millions and billions of people are on there. So unless you're being consistent, the algorithms are not going to push your content out in front of your followers. That's the thing is that, the algorithms, they want to reward people that are actually using their platform and being consistent on it, right? Like if they know that you're kind of just whatever, like post here and there, they're going to be like, this person isn't serious. And the algorithm really is going to kind of just not even push your content. So that's why the consistency piece of it is so important, but it's also the hardest part for everybody. And that's why so many people struggle with their social medias because it's hard for them to be consistent. And that's one thing that for me, everybody kind of is like, oh, you have this large presence on LinkedIn and you have all these followers. And I have to remind people I've been on that platform for 8 years and I've been consistent for 8 years. So I've earned my place, like I don't say I deserve it. Like, I don't know. I've earned it because I know I have put the time and energy into it. I put the work into it. So for so many people, that part of it, they just don't want to do it. And I tell them if there was a secret sauce for all of it, you think everybody would be sharing it? There isn't. We all know that with anything, right? With dieting, with everybody wants like a magic pill, but like, sorry, people, reality check. Like, there's no magic pill for anything.
The magic pill is consistency and hard work.
Yeah. And people, like when people are with me at an event and then they see what goes into a post, like a lot of times I get made fun of because I'll go to an event and at the end of the event, instead of going to like the bar or doing the social networking thing or whatever, I go in a corner I sit by myself and I post about it. And I really take the time and energy to make sure that I'm tagging the right people, that I'm showcasing whatever business it is that's, you know, has the happy hour or the networking event, or if it's an organization and it's a conference. And I do that, and because I take it very seriously, and then I'll go do my things. Because I tell people it's part of my job. Like, I take it very serious. I'm very intentional when I post something. And that's what people kind of forget too. They think social media, they think, oh, it's just, you just post whatever and it's just, you know.
So
No,
it's like you almost gotta have a strategic plan, you know.
yes, yeah. Like for me, I personally, I post in real time. So if I'm at an event, that's why, like, at the end of the event, I mean, clearly if it's like midnight or 1 a.m, like I've gone to galas and they end really late, like I'll go ahead and set it up on my LinkedIn, and like you can save your draft, your post on LinkedIn, and then the next morning at a decent time, I'll go ahead and post it. But there's a lot of times that I end an event at 5 or 6 and I'll go ahead and post on LinkedIn, and everyone's like, oh, but is that the right time to do it? I said, it's not that it's the right time. I personally like to do it in the moment, because I do so much. I want people to really feel like, oh wow, she was just there.
Yeah. So with that said, like, go ahead, Corey. Sorry.
No, I'm just going to say there's also another market too, Raquel, that people, so like you were saying, to the point of what you're saying, people think that like I can only post from 9 to 5 during these hours. Brian, I built a whole billion-dollar industry by posting in the middle of the night, buying up ads that no one wanted. They were trash hours, but he filled it with content.
Wow.
So it's content.
You know?
So keep posting. Yeah.
Yeah, and not only that, it's funny how some people, like, especially on LinkedIn, and I keep commenting LinkedIn because that is kind of, you know, the platform that I really know very well. Like Instagram, I'm getting much better at it, but with LinkedIn, for instance, because it is a business platform, a lot of people are like, oh, I don't post on the weekends because I don't get much traction. But oddly enough, when I post on the weekends, I get a ton of traction because a lot of people aren't posting. So I tell people, like, nobody's posting. So guess what? When you do post, you're kind of, you know, you're not really competing with many people. So then you tend to get more eyeballs on the content and more engagement. And not only that, if you think about it, it's still a social media platform. So people on a Saturday, Sunday could just be sitting there on their deck, patio, whatever, on their couch. And then they decide just to kind of scroll through. So for me, I post on weekends as well. Like, I really don't, the whole like day and time, I've never gone by that. If anything, I feel like I'm the person that has done everything kind of the opposite and still managed to do what I'm doing because of the consistency piece. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't do engagement pods. I don't like tag a bunch of people on my posts. Like, I'm just kind of, I do my own thing. I do what feels right for me. And it's worked. So that's why I try to tell people, like, hey, you don't have to follow what everybody else is doing and this whole, like, you know, checklist of what you're supposed to do. You can still do what feels right for you and what you feel comfortable doing, and it could still be successful for you.
Yeah. So what I'm getting here is consistency. So
I'm going to consistently talk about consistency.
So you want to stay being highlighted by social media, where they're making sure you post it, always being seen. Is so, like, you're right. Like, because I remember when I joined LinkedIn, I didn't really care. I joined and I never touched, maybe for 6 months, right? And then I'm like, yeah. Then after that, slowly, I start using, like, literally, I use almost like, it became like almost my email. I communicate with people on LinkedIn all the time before even my email, kind of going back and forth.
Well, the relationships, like, that's, so when I got on LinkedIn, I didn't think about the relationship piece of it, but now that is the number one reason why I'm on that platform, is because of the relationships that I've built. I mean, I was just in Louisville, Kentucky. I don't know if you saw my post.
Yes, I saw that. Yes.
Michael Ray, he and I have become friends through LinkedIn. We have met once before, but there was another connection, Mike Skiba, who has a really good friendship with him, but had never actually met him in person. And I have met Mike Skiba because he met me at an event when I was in New York, because he's from New York. So the two of us literally met at the airport. We flew in. And Michael's girlfriend picked us up. She knew we were going to, you know, we stayed there all the weekend and we surprised him. And it was like the greatest thing ever because
Yeah,
I
so
have had
yeah.
a rapport with his family and his kids, but to like see him in person, it just solidified the friendship. If anything, I'm like, we're family now. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm flying up to Hartford, Connecticut, not this weekend, but the following weekend for a LinkedIn local with Jason Leibowitz, who he and I have become really close. We started Rock Vision together under his XXO platform, and we've just never actually met. So I'm going to fly up there and I'm going to get to meet some other people from LinkedIn. And that to me has been the most valuable piece of all of this.
The networking part. So
Yeah, the networking, because what happens is you're surrounding yourself with the people that you want to surround yourself with, and it's a higher level. I feel like with LinkedIn, everybody who's on there is on there because they want, this is how I feel, they want to grow personally in their business, they want to succeed, they want to kind of challenge themselves. And so I feel like that's why for me, LinkedIn, I love it because the intention behind it is very different than the other platforms.
Actually, I like the way you're doing because a lot of time is like we feel like we are so connected to people. Like you say, you have so many people on your connection, maybe LinkedIn or Facebook, but in reality, you never met these people. You never, anything at all. So this for you to kind of meet them, kind of do a visit. This is real good. That's a real connection. You're like, hey,
and not only that, like even with that piece of it, people are always shocked with the amount of like the connections that I have in my network and my inner circle. And I have to remind them, just like with social media, being consistent. I said it's the same thing when it comes to building relationships. It's a give and take. You have to put the time and energy into it as well. Like when I'm moving back to California after 23 years. I've been in Virginia for 23 years, but guess what? I have maintained all of my friendships with all of my best friends from elementary school, middle school, high school. Every time I go to San Diego, guess what? Hey, let's meet up. And so me moving back, I'm just going to slip right back in. It's not like I'm moving back and everyone's like, where have you been for the last 23 years, right? Like, oh, and now you want to go ahead and like be besties again? No, and it's because I make the effort, and it's not easy.
I hope Corey is listening because I'm the only friend he has.
Oh, God.
You need to get more friends.
No, I have another one right here.
We got two. We got Raquel too. So now we're two of three.
Yeah.
And listen, man, when we go to California, we got a couch to sleep on too now. She's going to
California. I know we got a couch to sleep.
In La Jolla, not even a couch, a bedroom. I'm moving in with my mom, and she has another extra room, and she loves to host. So already she's like telling me like, any of your friends that want to come visit, there's an extra room.
I'm trying to remember La Jolla because I lived in Sacramento. I don't know if you know.
Oh, okay. Yeah, of course.
So I lived in Sacramento for 2 years.
Okay.
And I remember kind of going to San Diego sometime.
Yeah, on the 5. You just take the 5 all the way down. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Let me ask a question for Corey. I don't know if Corey so Corey has a mobile service, right? He has I don't know if you call mobile. You can explain better, Corey.
I was like, Corey, what is it that you do?
So he has an entertainment company that literally, if you need someone to feed an event, to do entertain music, to do whatever, he can do that. So I'm thinking, how do you do branding or marketing for a company? Because it's different. I'm trying to think like if you have like a building or like an office, be like, hey guys, we're here. So everybody kind of find you like that. Like, right? Is that a good question, Corey?
So, Raquel, the views of don't reflect the views of Sugar Ram Bar. Hey, what kind of picture? Man, if I send you into the office for Apple, you got to close the deal, Ed. You got to close the deal.
Mm-hmm.
So, Raquel, what I have a mobile event company. I never wanted to own a brick and mortar space. Just as we went into this digital space and age, I clearly saw that like that wasn't the way to go, right? Brick and mortar. Not saying that I don't ever want to do that, but I literally have no overhead. So my whole niche or niche, I don't know what we're saying nowadays, right? The whole thing is the mobility of it. I'm able to bring everything to your event. I have trucks, people, moving pieces. We bring everything, literally, whatever you can think of.
Yeah.
Cakes, DJ, lights, furniture, photo booth, tables, catering, whatever you think. The whole thing is that it's mobile. And then at the end of the event, we pack it all up, put it in the truck, and we go out. And then I've been able to do that. I'm based in Maryland, but I do that all over the country. Yeah, so just give you an example. Sunday, I'm flying to Miami to do an event in Miami. I'm going to literally go do the event, make my money, secure my bag, and I'm getting back.
So what about all the equipment and everything? Do you have like someone in Miami that's going to go ahead and provide everything, or do you actually like trailer it down there?
No. So here's what happens. So I live here. A friend of mine who I've known for years will move to San Diego with her mom, right? And then she'll say, "Hey, Corey, you need to come out here because what you're doing there would really like you kill it out here." And I'm going to tell her, I'm like, "Hey, Raquel, I'm not coming to San Diego. It's not happening, sister." So what we can do though is I can structure the deal from Maryland. You're in San Diego. Your boots on the ground. I need you to ensure that everything happens smoothly because I can't get on a plane and show up in an hour in San Diego.
Right.
But you can. So if we can broker that, and at the end of the day, you're making money, I'm making money, and the overall thing is if the client is happy. I mean, I know it sounds
okay. So then that's what you're doing with the people in Miami.
Totally depends on the event. Some events I actually show up for if they're big enough, and if there's logistically if there's too many moving pieces, and if the check is right, I show up for those events. For the other events, the smaller things, the low hanging fruit, I don't have to show up. I mean, I leverage technology. You just got to check in. But so I guess what Ed was kind of gearing towards is, so I built that business from nothing to what it is now, and across these platforms, I probably have over, I don't know, maybe over 100,000 followers or whatever through these.
What's your Instagram handle so I could at least start
everything is Sugar Rim Bar. So
Sugar
Rim Bar. 3 words. So to back to the point of what you were saying is I even though I am a person, right, I technically really don't exist. It's the brand that exists.
Right.
And so I get people, or the people who even work, I don't never say that people work for me. I say they work with me. I try to say that. I'm trying to get them to understand that, yeah, look, I'm the owner, I'm the CEO, I'm the boss, I'm the guy that's kissing the babies and the rock star sign of thing. But we're Nike, we're Google, we're Walmart, we're any corporate America blue chip company. You know, we're just as good as, because of technology, we can be Facebook, we can be Uber, we can be these companies that you deem to see these billion trillion companies, but we got to market it. So when you post, don't tag me, tag the company, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's how I was able to organically, and like to what you said, I don't spam people either. I don't tag people. I don't spam people. I don't tag 97 people in my flyer. You know, I don't do what I don't want done to me.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I mean, and that's great. And clearly you're doing well. And, you know, if anything, COVID helped everybody in the respect of like not having any brick mortar and just doing everything, you know, mobile and online and digitally. So you were ahead of the curve on that one, right? But I'm assuming that when you do your events, like people are there at least like documenting it and posting about it. Cause I mean, and so that's all you need, right? You need people to see exactly what it is that you are doing and showcasing it. Because unfortunately, a lot of people don't even do that though. That's the thing is I laugh. That's why these loan officers, I'm always like, why didn't you take a picture when you were at this event? I forgot. I'm like, but why, you know, you were out in the community, you know, handing out turkeys on Thanksgiving Day. Didn't you take a picture? No. I'm like, yes, but then how do you expect people to see what you do and to, you know, like want to work with you because you are, you know, out there helping the community, or, you know, you're at these events and you're, you know, boots on the ground. But unfortunately, too many people like forget that piece of it. It's amazing how many people do.
I think a lot of people, Raquel, I don't think it's fear, right? I don't think they're afraid to post because they post. I think they're afraid to sort of like peel back that veil and expose parts of their business or be vulnerable because the world, society, is thinking that if I post this, someone's going to think a certain way. Man, I post all the time. I think like this. The way that I think is Facebook is free, YouTube is free, Instagram is free, TikTok is free. It's not. I can name 400 different platforms, right? It's all free. And if McDonald's is posted and Walmart are making commercials 27 hours a day, 7 days a week. What's little on me? You know what I mean?
Yeah. And not only that, Corey, what I tell people, because everyone's like, oh, I don't want to, everyone's going to get sick of me, I'm like, let them decide. Like, it's their choice as to whether or not they're sick of you or not. Like, don't decide for them. You'd be surprised how many people want to see your face and see you all over their feed, right? But like, so many people are like, oh, they automatically assume what the follower, what the customer, what their network wants to see. I'm like, no, let them be the ones to make the decision.
And then people want to see the thing that a lot of entrepreneurs or whoever you're working with, I know that they don't understand that people want to see your journey. They want to see you come up from nothing. They want to see that you started this little business in your garage, like Google. And so look, they're going to build you up. So on the ride up, ride the wave, and then we're going to get to a point, like I'm at a point now, where when you get 100,000 followers, trust me, then people are going to hate you. They're going to build you up to tear you down. But that's America.
Yeah.
Right? That's
America. I know. And yeah, but you're right. The journey part of it is so important. And that's something that with LinkedIn, because I've been on there for so many years, I get DM'd all the time. Like, I love seeing your journey, because it is a journey. They see like the ups and downs. They've seen me try to go out on my own right before COVID, and then having to go back into the corporate world because I wasn't making enough money, and I needed to, like my dad was helping me pay my mortgage. And I was very honest about that too, because I think what happens as well is when you have a presence and you have a large following and you have all this engagement, people automatically equate that with money, and that you're getting a lot of money. And I had to remind people like that does not equate to my bank account at all. If anything, what I learned, one of the biggest lessons I learned about being on my own was that I never had a call to action.
Mm-hmm.
I was just out there giving value, giving a bunch of value for free, giving a bunch of advice. And then at the end of the day, like I never turn around and said, hey, you know what? Like my time is also valuable and you should be paying me for it. And I'm giving you all these, these ideas and everything. But I also had that mindset of like, oh, well, I'm starting out. And so this is like what you have to do. Right. And then there came a point where I didn't know how to turn that off. And so for me, that was huge, where I tell people all the time, like, you still need to have a call to action. And once again, they can decide whether or not they want to work with you or not. But at least you're like reminding them like, hey, I'm here to like get paid and to be hired. And that was, that was a tough one for me.
Yeah.
On question on, I know the LinkedIn, have you started using TikTok?
I have a TikTok account. I've been on it for quite some time. I just don't use it. I think a lot has to do with the fact, and this might sound kind of lame that I'm saying this, but my kids they don't post TikToks, but they're on there and all their friends are. And when I started getting on TikTok, my kids were making fun of me all the time. And I was just kind of like, my daughter was like, Mom, why are you on TikTok? Like, well, I don't understand. Like, I don't see the value of being on this platform. And so I just kind of let them convince me to not really be active on there.
But
so
you should.
I let my kids get to me.
Get on TikTok, Raquel. Get on TikTok.
Well, like I said, I'm on it. I just have to kind of like start posting on it, because I'll do reels on Instagram. I just have to get better on TikTok. And it's funny because everyone's like, you should be on TikTok because you're a goofball. Like, you have no shame. You just do whatever. And that's what TikTok's, kind of essentially what it's all about. But I don't know why I have this kind of like barrier when it comes to TikTok. I have to get out of my head. But see, I tell, even I get in my own head with certain platforms.
Let me try maybe to see if this maybe makes sense. So you are more on the LinkedIn because you serve that, this is the professional network. So you have earned like this is where the message I'm going to craft like this because it's going to be received by these professional people. And then on TikTok, you have to tone it down to be like, I don't know, it has like to be a little bit
like very
because the same content is not gonna kind of almost not gonna be the same. It has to be a little bit, I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. And I get embarrassed sometimes because like I said, I can be a total goofball and I can do silly things, but I don't know why on TikTok I can't do it on there, but I can do it on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like I actually did a reel the other day. Someone recorded me. I was like on a road trip and I was on, sleeping and I was snoring like really loud. I'm a snorer. And so there was one of the TikTok trends where this woman is singing in the background. She's like, everything is content, make sure you film it or something. I don't remember, but it was like a trendy topic. Basically like content, everything's content, right?
Yeah.
So then I had that like background while I'm snoring, kind of just proving like, hey, even in your sleep, like your content.
That could have went that should have been TikTok also, yeah.
And I should have done it on TikTok first and then go ahead and make it a reel, but I keep forgetting to do that.
Yeah.
That's
you can literally take the reels that you're putting on Instagram and put them right over on TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know that either too.
There's so much. See, it's it's so overwhelming just in general. That's why so many people are like, forget it.
I think I got like 27,000 followers on TikTok. And like I'm at a
couple really?
Yeah,
I'll have to follow you on there too. I just started following you on Instagram, but I'll have to do. I'll have to go over on TikTok too. Yeah, you know what I'm thinking? To be honest, like once I move out to San Diego and my daughter's off at school, like you have a 21, 18-year-olds. When I'm out there, I feel like I'm going to be more kind of inclined to do stuff like that. I don't know what it is about this area that I feel a little bit.
Over there, the beautiful, enjoying nice weather.
I don't know. Californians, they're just a little bit more out there. And, you know what I mean? Like, who cares? So maybe I'll finally like get back my like real California self.
Yeah. They're just over there.
Soon you'll be seeing me all over TikTok.
I know. They're like California, and they always just roller skating, just enjoying the breeze.
Vibe. So maybe it'll inspire me to kind of to do it.
Why is it between the two platforms? One is Facebook and LinkedIn. Sometime when you post something, I have seen someone who will post something on LinkedIn and get attacked. Like, hey, this is not Facebook, buddy.
Yeah, I know it's funny how people do that. And so LinkedIn is funny right now. I will tell you this because I got off of Facebook 3 years ago. I just deleted my account. I wasn't getting engagement over there. I just felt like it was just another platform that I needed to post on. And it was just, I was like, you know what? I'm going to cut that out. And now I'll have more time and energy to, focus on Instagram, for instance.
Yeah.
So I got off of there, but it's incredible how many people there's like kind of like different schools of thought on LinkedIn. You have the people that are still like, hey, this is a professional site. This is not Facebook. Take it over on Facebook. And then you have the people that are kind of newer to LinkedIn. They're like, where's the LinkedIn police? Like, where are there like LinkedIn laws that tell you can't post certain things? So you have that. And then you have a lot of people now posting selfies on LinkedIn, where before selfies were kind of also like, what are you doing? Right now, selfies, they attract so much attention and engagement that people are posting more and more of it, because clearly if you're getting attention, you're going to keep doing it, right? Because that's what social media is about. It was like trying to get that attention. And then you have so many people that are like, ew, selfies, like, what are you doing? But then the same people are like, yeah, but like, look at all the engagement I'm getting. So, I mean, everybody has, kind of their 2 cents when it comes to it. I don't feel like there's any kind of rule. I used to be someone that was a little bit more kind of like trying to abide by like LinkedIn rules that didn't exist because in the beginning, LinkedIn was very much a professional business platform. Now it's evolved. I've seen it evolve. Like with my own eyes, like over COVID, I've seen the transition happen.
Yeah. Do like a post. You do a selfie and then put like a nice court, Yeah,
a lot of people do that too, and everyone's like, "Oh my
God!" Now I'm here.
Yeah, I personally, I don't like. I'm not a big fan of that. Personally, like if I see a selfie with a quote, I'm kind of like, okay. Or if I see like a whole piece of content that has nothing to do with the selfie, like it's just this, like a very curated selfie that the person looks, fantastic, but then their post has nothing to do with it. That's where I'm kind of like, okay, once again, you're trying to draw attention. So I'm very much into human psychology. Like if I do all the personality tests and the, everything for jobs, it always comes out that I should be a psychologist or psychiatrist. So for me, like, I'm always thinking about like the psyche of like, why do you feel like you have to post a picture of yourself in order to attract the attention, when if you're trying to write content, shouldn't the content be, what draws people in as opposed to how you look?
Yeah.
Like, so I'm like, where is that? Like, that's an insecurity. That's something that's going on deep down inside. Like, that's how I view it. Like, I really get in there and start. And everyone's like, it was just a freaking selfie. Like, settle down right now.
Yeah, it's like you're just throwing engagement because of the picture, not necessarily what not necessarily what you're
right, what you're saying,
trying to write or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
And then it causes kind of like, where a lot of people are like, I'm not being taken seriously. And then you have to understand too, like, there's also consequence. Like, there's a whole thing of it, right? We can get into the weeds with it, and we can get super controversial. But at the end of the day, like, just do you.
That's why I'm glad I'm just medium ugly. Like, I don't even have to worry about medium. I'm medium ugly.
Yeah.
No, I mean, listen, when it comes down to it, like, you do what you want to do, you do you, like, you do what you're comfortable with, right? But I just feel like sometimes people are doing it forced because they know that that's like what people want to see, or the algorithm's gonna, feed it to the world. And that's where I kind of have an issue.
Yeah.
Of like,
I have also kind of I guess one of the things that I see also the difference from LinkedIn and Facebook. On Facebook, nobody really bothers me in terms of connection where you have on LinkedIn. I get a lot of sales pitch. Hey, I can do this for you as soon you pay me this. I can do this. We do this. We can generate leads for you. We can do this. Like, everybody, give me. That's where it kind of frustrates me on the LinkedIn part of the networking. It's like people don't really care about trying to get to know you first. All they want to know is like, hey, I have a company, we can do this for you. I'm like, I wasn't even looking for that. I don't care about what you. So it's like,
or they don't really look at your profile, and they're saying like they could, like, I have so many people that reach out to me. They're like, oh, do you want to increase your, presence on LinkedIn and your brand and marketing? I'm like, have you not looked at my profile? Have you not seen that I already have, like, I'm good with, I don't need any more help on like, building a brand on LinkedIn or building my presence or whatever. So I just laugh a lot of times. So what's funny is that I actually have a video that I did, and I posted it on LinkedIn. It was during COVID. I was out in San Diego, and it was when people were getting spammed like crazy, because that's what was happening. People were going on LinkedIn for the first time. They didn't know kind of the etiquette. So people were spamming like crazy. And it got to the point where everybody was talking about it. Like, people, like, yes, this is a business platform. Yes, this is about doing business, but we're people first, right? It's like the relationship. And so I did a video where I sang "Stop in the Name of Spam, before you break my heart, think it over." And I did like a little spam gif and like a little stop gif. And so I'll send that to people who spam me like crazy. I'll just send them.
As soon as they spam you just send them the.
Yeah. And it's funny because some people will respond and laugh. And then some people are like, oh, sorry, like, I have a robot thing or a virtual assistant. I'm like, yeah, okay, but still, that's not an excuse. And then some people just not even like respond, but it usually it stops people once I send the video, and people just, and I know I'm making people laugh on the other end. So I'm like, hey, I'm not being like a biatch about it. Like, I'm kind of just.
You need to give me the link to that video. I need to start sending them too.
I'll just send you the video, and then you can send it to people.
Yes, I'm telling you, I guess so many
for sure. But that's a lot of reasons why people don't want to get on LinkedIn. Like, I know, especially like a lot of the loan officers that I know, they're like, I hate LinkedIn because as soon as I get on there, all my DMs have recruiters in there. Everybody's like, spamming me, and I'm like, yeah, but you kind of have to just ignore that. And there comes a point where I know, for me, I hardly get spammed. I hardly get people DMing me randomly. Like, I think I've done a really good job of creating like a quality network of people. Like, I don't connect with everyone. Like, there's people that I deny all day long because at the end of the day, like I do check people's profiles, and I'm someone, for instance, I will tell you this. If I have a male reach out, like wanting to connect with me, and I see we have like at least 20, 30 mutual connections, and they're all women, I don't care who you are, what your type is. I don't care any of that. I do not accept it, because that's like is a red flag. If we have that many mutual connections and they're all women, I automatically decline. So I really make it a point to kind of make sure that the people that I'm connected with are there for the right reasons. And so I rarely get people being obnoxious and sending me messages. People think that happens to me all the time, and it doesn't. And I feel like I've really done a good job of the message of like, hey, that's not what I'm here for. You know, I'm here like intentionally to create, you know, solid, strong relationships. That, you know, it's not a dating site. This isn't like, you know, no. So I think I've done a good job with that, because I really haven't.
And I can see that, like as soon they look at you like, oh, she's very beautiful. Let me just kind of say hi, and then from there it turned to something else. It's like, listen, this is a professional networking website, but some people is like,
but like I said, I rarely get those type of like messages. You know, there's a lot of people that will go out there and be like, oh my gosh, I get all these appropriate messages and this and that. And this, I maybe like, you know, hey, beautiful, or hey, late, you know, hey, or just a hi, and then I'm just kind of like, ugh, but nothing inappropriate, nothing like. But it doesn't happen often.
Yeah, I get like now the way I look at it, like when I get so there's a way now I've learned, like when someone sends me a message, some of them they'll be like, oh, I see what you're doing with the company. That's very good. It would be nice to have you as a network. And I'm like, oh, okay, good. I accept it. And then as soon you accept it, you just open the door for them to write
And that has happened to me, where it's been one of those things where like you think, oh, okay, this might be like a cool connection, and then suddenly, they spam you with something, and you're like, oh, darn it! Like, come on, people.
But Raquel. Ed also lives in a world where, like, you know how people give away free hugs?
Yeah.
He's skeptical of the free hug.
He's like, you're gonna charge me after you hug me. Like, I know.
Ed doesn't trust anyone. Like, why are you giving away free hugs? What's the catch?
No,
hold on. Keep talking. My battery's about to die. Like this.
Okay. After the pandemic, not now. After the pandemic, nobody's getting hit. Right?
Ed, I gotta get you out of this thing, man. You this pandemic. This is probably been the best time for you, right? Being in the house, not having to see anybody, not having to touch anything, because you're a germaphobe too.
Oh, are you a germaphobe?
No. It's just one of those weird things. I just picked it up. Like, if I can stay away from people, like not come across where you get sick or whatever, that's what I'm doing. I'm staying away from people.
Oh my God.
And here's the funny thing too. So I grew up in Africa, like in a village, but now I'm like, oh, dust. You got so much dust. And I'm like,
I've always had OCD. It's not as bad as it used to be, but I am very much a very clean person, and I'm always like washing my hands, like I'm always just cleaning after myself, everything. And so I get made fun of. And if anything, my kids, like they didn't get the clean gene from me. I'm like, so I have a little bit of like OCD tendency, but not when it comes to like organizing and being clean, unfortunately.
Well, I know we went over kind of the
I don't even know how long I was like. I thought maybe the show was an hour. That's why I was like,
it's like we supposed to do like half an hour, but I know.
Was it? I warn people all the time. I'm like, hey, listen, I can talk forever, so make sure you like these, because I literally could talk all day long.
Yeah. This is good. This is really good, and I want to thank you again, Raquel. Borras. How can people find you?
LinkedIn. They could go to my YouTube channel, Rock the Boat. See, call to action.
Rock the Boat. Just
subscribe to my Rock the Boat YouTube channel, because I do want to kind of start getting that back going with kids. And then I'm on Instagram, just my name, Raquel.Borras. Yeah, and TikTok also is my name, Raquel Borras, just kind of the same across the platforms. I just am not on Facebook.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, not a fan. So, but other than that, you can Google me. I don't know.
I know. Like Google me.
Google me. It's funny because I do Google myself every now and again because, just I'm always curious because sometimes I forget that I've been on a podcast and the person who had me on their podcast never told me that they released it. So every now and then I'll Google myself just to kind of be like, oh, that's right. I did this. I did that. Or, just to make sure, just to kind of, that there's nothing out there that it's not supposed to be out there.
Raquel,
Corey.
I'm trying to find you. There's a lot. You got a lot going on over here on YouTube, man. You're all over the place.
And well, as Rock the Boat, RAQ.
No.
Or you look at my name?
Raquel Borras, man. You're all on a bunch of podcasts and stuff.
Yes, yeah, I'm a ton. Well, see, that's the thing is like I forget that when I'm on these lives and on podcasts, they're across a ton of different platforms.
You got picked. Yes.
So I forget. That's why I will Google myself for that reason because I kind of have to remind myself because I feel like sometimes I'm like in a bubble, in a LinkedIn bubble or Instagram bubble, and it's kind of a reminder for me that. It's important to be omnipresent, especially, if I want to kind of, end up doing a TEDx talk, end up kind of, doing more with the kids. Yeah. So that's my channel. Yeah. Subscribe, hit the subscribe button, please.
I hit it, boss.
I think you're like 310, which isn't bad considering. I mean, I've had it for, it'll be 2 years, I think in November. And I think I have like 67 conversations on there.
65.
We need to get Corey on LinkedIn because that can give him exposure to people who are like corporate and they're looking to do like a private event. And
Corey, I'm shocked that you're not on LinkedIn.
I know.
Listen, I'm on there, but I'm not. So what's crazy is, like on YouTube, I have 27,000 followers. On TikTok, I have 27,000 followers. On Facebook, I have 20,000 followers. On Instagram, I have 20,000 followers. On LinkedIn, I probably have 200. On Twitter, I probably have 200. So there are really? We didn't get into this, but there are certain platforms, so people will see you, right, and they'll see you be a huge, massive success on LinkedIn, and they'll say to themselves, right. Raquel, help me be successful on LinkedIn. But what they don't understand is you can't guarantee that because you don't know. They may be big on Instagram where you don't occupy that space. That's for them to, but you can
and there are plenty of people like that. Like I have connections on Instagram in the mortgage and real estate industry that are huge on there. Then they'll go over to LinkedIn and try to kind of, do the same thing. And it just doesn't work. Like their audience is more on Instagram. And then for me, it's the opposite where LinkedIn, I kill it over there. And then I go to Instagram and it's not horrible, but like, I'm definitely having to like build my presence on there. And so it's just kind of funny how, everybody has their pond.
You're the small fish in a big pond on the other platform. Yeah,
but I like that. Like that's, I mean, for me, I like being a little fish in a big pond. So what happened, like with LinkedIn, I was feeling like, okay, you know what? Now I got to remind myself that just because you have a presence and visibility on LinkedIn does not mean anything if you're like not on other platforms too. So that's why for me, I'm trying to focus more on Instagram. So I post on Instagram a lot. I try to do the stories. I do see kind of like it's slowly building organically on my Instagram because it definitely is harder to build organically on there. Back in the day it was easy, but then, as soon as Facebook bought them and then the whole, paid ads and they want you to, pay to play, Instagram kind of for a while there was really hard to grow. Like they wanted you to basically buy followers,
You want to know the hack?
There's a hack
on Instagram.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Listen.
Are you going to share it for the entire world right now?
Listen.
I know, right?
We're 54 minutes into this, okay? Whoever stuck around this long, they deserve to get the hack.
They deserve the Instagram hack. Okay.
Exactly. The hack is this. You find a trending sound that is, it's got to be exploding, right? You find a trending sound You add that sound to your reel, drop the volume if you can, and so the sound is the sound is in the background. It's not on, but because that sound is trending, your video is going to get massive amounts of views because of the sound is trending.
Okay, how do you find what? Because I have tried to figure out like what sounds or songs are trending on
your
Reels.
children.
It's like talk to your children.
Go to your children, Raquel. These
Yeah,
rappers.
but they refuse to help me in any way, Corey. It's hilarious because I'm always like, guys, can you? They're like, nope, sorry, because they actually don't like social media. So it's a running joke in the family that like their mom, who's going to be 47, like that's her career, and yet they're not content creators. They just kind of, they just watch
content.
the videos, but they don't. And so when I ask questions, they're like,
Are they on Snapchat? Because I know my daughter, who's 18, is on
they're
Snapchat.
on Snapchat and they use it all the time. They actually use it. They don't text, they snap. Like, it's crazy.
A lot of them,
they
their age is like they're on Snapchat, so they think it's LinkedIn or, of course, they don't.
Yeah, but I'll tell you this: my son's on LinkedIn.
Oh, here we go.
And I got my dad on LinkedIn, and my ex-husband's been on LinkedIn. So it's funny because they see what I'm doing, and they used to make fun of me on LinkedIn, and my son especially. But I think now they don't say anything because they realize, what I've done on there and what I'm doing on there. So if anything, I think before they just didn't get it, and now that my dad's been on there for a while, my son has, and they see they're kind of like, okay, we're gonna let her do her thing. So I'm shocked that like my dad doesn't say anything. He'll just be like, oh, I see your stuff all the time, or like, oh yeah, I saw that. And
Number
I guess my dad will be quick to be like, why'd you post that, or why'd you do this, or why'd you say that? And no, he's like letting me kind of do my thing, which I mean, I am going to be 47. It's not like he
So
has like saying what but still, it's your dad, like.
Listen, yeah, you're still his little girl, so
Yeah, so just knowing that, like, I have everybody that's important to me there paying attention. That does matter to me. It does.
Thank you. Corey, how can people find you?
Yeah.
You can find me on the Headliner Live podcast each and every night.
Headliner, yeah.
So are you his co-host, Corey? Like this is like
Raquel, I don't know what's going on.
He's my guest. He's my guest co-host. So
okay.
It's like, because you cannot tie him, like right now he's available, but it's like next time I'm gonna call him, I'll be like, are you joining? He's gonna be like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm in Vegas, or I'm in Miami.
Don't you have another live today? Like you kind of have these, you don't have like a set time or day, like you just kind of have these going all week, right?
Yes, I'm trying to have them kind of back to back. I want to have enough content.
Raquel, it does not matter to Ed that I have to meet with Barack Obama, right? So I'm meeting with Barack. Ed's calling me like, look, you got to get on this podcast. I'm like, yeah.
Is that a true story?
I'm with Barack. Then I have to be like, hey, Barack, sorry, gotta leave. I need to go meet Ed. And Barack's like, Corey, where you going? Michelle, some cookies, right? And I'm like, I'd love to stay, Barack, but Ed's calling me, and that's how it's
Oh my God.
No, he's thinking like you're calling. I want him to say live.
I gotta drop everything I'm doing.
Brock's like, yo, I need you to like DJ my party.
I'm like, no, I gotta go do a live because we're.
Tell Malia and Sasha, sorry, Uncle Corey can't come by this afternoon.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And not only that, he said he's gonna have Raquel Borras, so I gotta drop with him. If Raquel's gonna be, Raquel's gonna be there.
Like who? What? Because you're not on LinkedIn, so you're like, I know who this lady is.
The podcast queen is coming on it. Oh no,
I know. Yeah, it'd be like, do you want to stay over there or you want to come meet Raquel here? So
do you want to meet Raquel Borras?
Insights.
I want to meet Raquel Burris. Is what I want to do. It goes God, family, Raquel Burris. That's how it goes. My Lord.
Okay, I'm gonna cut that out. I'm gonna put that on an Instagram story.
No.
All right, look, let me do it right for you then. So
thank you so much again for
God,
the headliners, like
Raquel Burris.
Oh,
Yes.
Click the subscribe button and follow Raquel.
Yep. Thank you again. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. That was fun.